All right, guys, so this is the NFT Oasis Hub. We're in the midst of a bit of a redesign, so bear with us, but essentially this is going to be the main portal which you'll be able to enter all of our different worlds. As you can see, it's a series of bubbles in the sky. I highly recommend Flight Tool if you want. If you're on an Oculus, you can spawn a flight tool. If you're on a PC or a Mac, you can just enable flight. Under your Altspace turquoise menu there, you'll see settings and the fly switch on, and that'll make it so that whatever direction you look, you'll be able to float in that direction. So if you guys want to take a moment to do that, I'll just kind of give you a little backstory on the space. Greg Edwards, our illustrious lead designer here, the man in the cowboy hat, built this space. We have only been around for a few months, but the conversation initiated around NFTs and wanting to build something experiential that felt like it was appropriately futuristic and beautiful for all the amazing technological power and energy that the NFT movement was generating. So I had this kind of like idea for a ethereal aesthetic, and connected with Will and Greg about it, and Will was like, hey Greg, can you build like Metatron's cube in the sky? And then Greg was like, sure, give me like 20 minutes, and he whipped up this amazing thing. So these bubbles are enclosures. Each one of them has different music cue in it. Each one of them is their own gallery. On this floor we have several different amazing artists. So maybe we could just check out a couple of the artists real quick, just so you guys can see. If you're on a Mac or PC and you're not flying, I highly recommend using the F key to teleport around. It'll help you avoid getting stuck anywhere. So over here, you'll find an artist named Muartiv. He's one of the more popular artists on, Nifty Gateway and Super Rare. I think we're probably going to feature him at Art Walk and maybe do a. I've been talking to him actually about designing his own world, which would be cool too. He works a lot in various 3D mediums. I think he's got a series called Greenland that I really love. He's really cool, like iceberg kind of scenes, which one of my favorite things about 3D art is that you can imagine spaces to luxuriate that you never would be able to attend in person. So he's got this beautiful little glass box sitting, looking out over a river with an iceberg. Super beautiful. And then this piece over here, it's like a little red lounge chair in the middle of a kind of perfectly crafted iceberg ocean. So yeah, this is, I think we're probably going to start doing art walks here occasionally. I'm kind of testing out the navigation. You guys find it easy to move around in here? Everybody comfortable? Show some emojis. Boom. Thanks. I like the musical component too. I did the musical composition for each one of these bubbles. They each have their own musical cues. Muartiv also has this series of furry masterpieces. So he did like the Mona Lisa and the Scream as like fur paintings, which is pretty cool.
I love the music. It's really calm.
Thank you. Yeah.
For this kind of space.
Yeah, I experimented with something that had like drums in it, and I found it was too repetitive. It kind of like got into the brain. So you want to create an environment where people can kind of.
I just want to touch this.
Yeah, the fur. Super cool, right?
It's really soft.
So if you guys want to head down to the next gallery, there's another artist we can take a look at. His name is Paul Robertson. He goes by P-Robs with I think 3 Z's on socials, and he does these extraordinary pixel compositions that really look like the early era of video games, where and one of the things that really inspires me about pixel art is kind of the limitations, right? So for all intents and purposes, we have infinite pixels to work with now, but there was a period of digital design when your canvas was limited to a certain number of pixels, so you had to get the most expressive images you could out of what was available. And I think Paul does an amazing job at really bringing these images to life. It really reminds me of kind of what the load screens would be like on some of my favorite childhood video games, but like supercharged. A lot of really rich imagery. So this gallery, these galleries remain open all year round. So you guys feel free to favorite any of these worlds we're visiting today. I'm going to show you how to do that really quickly. So anytime you feel like popping into Altspace, looking at some art, checking out what's going on in the main galleries, checking out what's going on in any of our different worlds, you can go to your favorite worlds. That's a really easy way to navigate to it. If you go to menu, on your dial, where you see this the turquoise triangle, at your 11 o'clock, there's a little what looks like a map. If you click on that, it says it's you are here, right? And your load screen, your settings window will pop up, and you'll see name of the space. It'll say enter, portal, and favorite. Click on favorite, and that'll enable you to come back here anytime you want to. It'll be under your favorites. Anybody have any difficulty with that? So we've only got 2 floors right now of the main galleries, but we're going to be adding more permanent installations. The beautiful thing about VR and what we've got here is that there's infinite shelf space. So we could theoretically have literally hundreds and hundreds of permanent galleries. So we're going to be, building permanent installations so that you guys can always be able to come back and see what's going on, see who's getting featured, etc., etc.
That's so cool.
Thanks, man. Good to see you.
It's really cool.
Yeah.
The
How you
idea
doing?
of permanent installation.
Yeah, that's the objective. Is we're building history here. This is the first thing of its kind, and so the NFT movement is so new. The power of curation really is that you can kind of establish a cultural legacy and tell the story of the cultural movement in real time. So we've been tapping into artists whose work we really admire and getting their permission to show. And so, I take it as a real sign of it's just encouraging that we've built something cool for artists that artists, some of whom are making like hundreds of thousands of dollars a month in NFT sales, are still wanting to have their work shown here. So to me, it just says we've built something that that people think is beautiful and that they value, and that
Definitely.
means a lot.
It's like really meditative to be here, listening to the music.
Yeah.
That's what makes it so unique, and they use the right colors.
It's not like
Yeah, well, that's particularly if you're in a headset, you can get like right up next to it, which is so interesting. And what's kind of mind-blowing actually is that these worlds are actually a very small amount of information. Each one of them is 50 to 100 megabytes. So each one of these pictures has actually been compressed quite a bit and is like less than a megabyte of information. And yet when you're in a headset, you get so much detail. So as VR technology improves, you can quickly imagine that the difference between the iPhone 10 years ago and the iPhone today in terms of its processing power, that we're going to have incredible photorealism out of VR in the next 5-10 years. And imagine if you could get one of these worlds to hold a gigabyte worth of information, how incredible that would be, So I'm very excited for the future of VR, because if it looks this great now, I can only imagine how it's going to get.
I mean, what is nice about the let's say low texture
Even though I do
Yes.
DVD, I look at this and I'm thinking, man, I got a lot more. Like, it's the detail in this.
Mhm.
This is cracking to me.
His Instagram is amazing.
It's true.
If you ever see his
videos.
You're right,
and
and
editing.
we've been very intentional about sizing the pieces accordingly. We really want people to focus on art. The art is, I mean, of course, the environment is beautiful as well. You know, I'll take you guys to our forest world, and you'll see the environments also really have their own majesty. But when you, it's a balance you want to strike with, you know, creating emphasis on the art as well.
Okay. So hard to fix it, and it's not working. So, I mean,
We
Hey,
here.
Andrea,
yes.
are you hey, are you still able to? Are you able to see this world too, or no?
I can see this room. Yeah.
Okay, that's great. Awesome.
Gotta head out, but I just want to say, seeing you here.
All right, everybody. So
Okay.
Have a good rest
See
of
you
I'm
the
going
day.
later.
We'll
to
talk
create a portal, if I
Alright, see ya.
can, to our forest world, so we can check it out. Let me take a look. This is going to be a little different than last time, where you're walking into a portal. This is going to be, we're all going to jump into the portal together. So if everyone points at this and clicks on it, you'll see a blue line pop out from your avatar to the portal. And I'm going to wait for everybody to do it. Looks like we've got 11 folks.
My goodness.
Okay. And if you guys get stuck, shoot me a message and I'll bring you over. Okay. Okay. This is gonna launch in a few minutes. Do we have everybody? I'm looking. It looks like this extraordinary,
just
like,
showing them
beautiful
the other
spider web
gallery.
we're building together.
Beautiful.
One more. Yeah. Okay. Well, Keaton, if she can, we can pull her in. All right, guys. Here we go.
Yeah, that emoji's perfect right now.
Guess it's time to buy an Oculus. Yes. This worked. Thanks.
We're on the exclusive tour now.
So if you don't want to follow me, I want to show you something. And by the way, don't be afraid to, fly around. So this thing is one giant spiral. Let me just step up here. And you can see all the amazing art hung up in here. So I amplify my voice that way you guys can always hear me no matter where you are in the world.
Okay, cool.
So this is pretty much just like on each floor of this world. There's so many different pieces of art hung up out of this installation, and it's kind of mind blowing. The I'd say fidelity of the graphics.
Hey Patrick, so you're giving these folks a tour of the cyberpunk world? Oh, got it. Awesome, dude. Thanks. Well, I'm gonna hop back to the forest world, and if you guys maybe we can connect at one that works for everybody. Thanks for pulling an audible. See you in a sec.
This is one of our largest, most vast worlds. There's 10 floors of art below us, and then an entire city to fly around outside. So you can come up here.
Oh wow. Cool. I like the forest better, but I
So
am
yeah, if you're
very
just
impressed by
popping
this
in,
too.
this is our cyberpunk world. This was the version that was for the Korean NFT community event. We had 500 people come in here in VR for an after party for the Korean NFT community. A lot of these artworks that you'll see up here are by an artist named Baran Sarper, who's a really amazing cyberpunk artist. I think I'd love to do a cyberpunk aesthetic art walk soon, so I'm gonna start connecting with some cyberpunk artists. If you guys have anybody who works in the style, feel free to forward them my way. But yeah, feel free to explore. I highly recommend flight in this world. You can fly up to where all these cars are. My favorite thing to do is get in the path of the cars, and it feels like they're about to hit you in the face, which is fun. um, yeah, it's quite vast. This world, there's many floors to explore, and you can fly straight from the top all the way down to the bottom. All right, everybody. Well, I unfortunately have got to make this the conclusion of my tour today. Feel free to explore. On the main floor, there's a portal back to the main NFT Oasis Hub. Um, you guys can feel free to explore any worlds you want, and stay as long as you like. Feel free to hang out. We will see you guys back here for the NFT Oasis Art Walk next week, and we appreciate you very much. We'll see y'all soon.